G'day, viewers and listeners. It's Ed Fox from Nashville2.com. Hey, Nashville2 tells the story of business owners and individuals around the Nashville metro, from Dixon out to Lebanon, down to Columbia, and up to the Kentucky border. So if you'd like to be a guest on our show, if you've got something that you would like to talk about and you'd like to be promoted, hit us up. And today, I'm lucky enough to have Julieanne Ford with us on Nashville2. G'day, Julianne. How you doing?
Good night. Look, good. Good morning.
Don't be nervous. Don't worry about it. We're all good. You know, that's okay. Our friends that listen and watch our podcast and our show, they're like, "Oh man, I couldn't be on there." You know, so you're doing great to even come on screen. So it's good to have you here.
Well, it's great being here. Yeah, I enjoy listening to you and seeing your podcast. I did view a few the other day, and so
cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, Julianne, we met on I think it was a meetup group that did a video on Saturday and talked about different things, and our speaker didn't show, so I was able to step up and answer a few questions. So that was great. So tell me, how long have you been in the Nashville metro area?
I've lived in Nashville since 2006.
Okay. And what brought you to Nashville?
Actually, my son moved in with his father, who lived in East Northern Mississippi. And so he wanted to be closer. Yes.
Okay.
And so I worked.
Sorry, go on. Where'd you come from?
Northern Chicago area.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
That's a big change.
It is a big change. Yes. And so moving here to Nashville, not knowing anybody, but transferring through the company that I was working for and able to be closer to him was a blessing. And so I've been here ever since and lived in multiple areas in the Nashville area through that time, and then settled in Burns.
Cool, which is out by Dixon, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So you know my favorite place in Dixon? Colton's. I was telling you the other day, Craig and his team there at Colton's Steakhouse in Dixon. It's a bit of a drive. We actually used to live in Bowling Green for a year before we found a place we liked in Nashville. But we'd drive down an hour and a half from Bowling Green to go out to Craig, because he's a client of mine through another business. But the thing I like about Colton's is they always take care of you. Like, I've not had a bad meal or a bad service experience. So, and that place is always packed. It's an awesome place to go, and it's popping, and it's great. So that's my hidden gem today from out by your area. So where else have you lived around Nashville?
I lived in Brentwood, Franklin, Spring
We're in Franklin now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then out by the airport. And
awesome. Now you have a few different things that you do. What would you like to speak about first?
Well, what I love and have a passion about is helping people shift their energy in their body. And so some people are like, I don't know what that means. So basically what that means is we have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. And when our subconscious mind, there's ways of processing emotions and feelings, but if our subconscious mind says these are emotions that we need to learn from or be protective of, then it starts storing those emotions in our body, which causes depression, inflammation, disease, and even could cause death at times.
Yeah, my subconscious mind tells me to eat more Oreos, so that can cause all those problems as well.
Right.
No, but you were telling a story. You were telling me a story when we spoke the other day about somebody that was a gallbladder trouble.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
Me, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, I had been suffering from abdominal pain for probably almost a year, and it would get so painful that I would absolutely collapse on the floor, in pain, doubled over, crying and screaming. And then my husband it happened at work, and I ended up going to the emergency room, and with all the tests and everything, they couldn't find anything wrong. So they send me home. Right. And then they wanted to medicate me just to get the symptoms to go away, and which I opted out for. And I'm like, no, I think I can, it'll go away in time. This has happened before. But it wasn't until I was introduced to an emotion code practitioner. And so she identified that I had trapped emotions in my gallbladder, which made my gallbladder unhappy, inflamed. And once she released those, and this was almost 3 years ago, I have not had one symptom since then. And so that chronic pain went away, that inflammation went away. And then I can now identify if there's anything going on in that area of discomfort. I now can find out what it is, identify if there's a trapped emotion, inflammation, or anything like that, and start clearing that energy from that organ.
Right. And so does that tie into what you started to talk about, how our subconscious,
Exactly.
so keep going on that, because I think sometimes, we sit back and we go, oh yeah, hocus pocus, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I'm sure you get that all the time.
I do. And it's funny because that is society pushing down and throwing out. We only need to work on the symptoms. We don't need to find the root cause. We don't need to diagnose or treat. We just need to treat that.
I think more and more of us are coming to understand that the pill isn't the answer to all the problems.
No. And the way Western, I don't poo-poo on Western medicine. We need Western medicine. If I had a limb cut off, I would definitely go to the hospital and get that taken care of. I don't think energy healing or any kind of energy will work on that area. I would need a medical professional. So I'm not, ditching Western medicine. I think you can combine the two together and help support your body. But to be educated on what's going on in your body is what we need to do. So we don't need to keep creating the issue by just treating the symptom.
Right.
And so I focus on, why are you feeling this way? What is the root cause? Is it a trapped emotion, or is there something else that's going on? And I have a tool, which is called the AO Scan mobile device, which is a biofeedback frequency generator that I can help my clients better see what's going on internally, emotionally in their body.
Well, one of the things I was interested when we were talking the other day, you mentioned the fact that you can also do sessions over Zoom that can help with the healing from a distance, right?
Right. It's called proxy or quantum physics, if you want to go into that, where when I have permission from a client, let's say you and I were talking like we are now, and if you give me permission that I can connect with your subconscious and find out what is going on internally in your body.
Right.
It's like emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, all those things are connected energetically on what's happening. And so with that, I just ask a series of questions on what is triggering your body to hold on to those emotions. And then I'm able to release them over my governing meridian and releasing that from you. And clients will feel lighter, they'll get more energy, they'll start sleeping better, feeling better. And it's great for people who have their own businesses. If they're looking to attract more clients, more revenue in their company, what is blocking? There could be energies that are blocking them from reaching certain people or reaching a certain salary that they're looking for. There could be energy blocks between what you want and what's ahead of you.
Well, and when we think about it, okay, because if this had been 20 years ago that you're telling me this stuff, I would have rolled my eyes and walked away, right? But we all know that person that when we get around them, they don't have to say anything. They don't have to say, they just have a negative energy. And you're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to be around this person. They're just, they don't even have to open their mouth, right? Because a lot of times you hear negative people, but then there's sometimes just that person that's just like got a negative energy and you sort of like, you're repelled by that negative energy. And I think that feeds in a little bit to what you're saying. I'm trying to sort of like give people that may be like skeptical that, hey guys, you already recognize this stuff is going on. It just hasn't been spoken to you in these terms.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So whatever energy you're like, you can walk into a room with people that are very high, positive, energetic, very motivated people and you want to just absorb their energy. You want to be around those people. And then you go into a room that's very quiet. The room is dark and people are kind of withdrawn and they're portraying this negative things. Have you ever been in a crowd where you're staring at somebody's back of their head and then they turn around?
Right.
Well, that's your energy meeting their energy. And so they turn around because you drew a magnet to them.
Right.
And it's just an energy field that is going from one person to the other.
Yeah, those are great examples. And I think they're relatable to most of us. I think for so many years, people talked in such high levels about this sort of stuff that the average person like me couldn't understand it or get something that they could latch onto, because we need to be able to relate, right? We need to be able to relate. And so that's one of the things that impressed me, and I wanted to have you on the show. So if somebody is interested after what they've heard, if they live out of state, they could still contact you and you could work with them over Zoom. If they're local, do you have an office? Do you come to them? How does that work?
I mainly do, probably 90% of everything I do is over Zoom or a phone call. And then I do have clients that I go to their place, to their home or to their office.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we will have your contact details in the show notes when we post this on YouTube and Facebook, and they can reach out to you that way. Yes. Okay, so I want to get some more into that in a little bit, but I need a hidden gem from you. Do you have a favorite whatever around Nashville that you like to talk about?
Well, I actually have two that I was thinking about. One is in Franklin, and it is the Factory. I love going to the Factory, and they have great restaurants. They have a great ice cream shop. But they also have a little pottery shop that when my bonus daughter comes to town, we will go and have an afternoon and be creative and paint. And then we'll go and have ice cream at the Factory. I really like that.
And what's the pottery shop called? Do you know?
Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, no worries. We'll put it in the show notes, folks. So look out for it. So I want to know, now you've taken me to another area. You got a bonus daughter. You won a game show or something, and you just got this daughter as a bonus. Is that what you're on? The Price is Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I married this guy, and then I got a daughter.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I pick up. I pick up bonus kids occasionally too.
Yeah.
An exchange student back in 2005. Now lives in Sacramento. Still calls us mom and dad. And then we had an Afghani refugee that I play cricket, bat and ball sport, British baseball, right? And this Afghani refugee who grew up in Pakistan and then moved back to Afghanistan, worked for US Special Forces, worked for Germany as a translator, ended up in Kansas because his army mates told him that's the safest place to go in America. And it's peaceful. Well, it is pretty peaceful, you know, that you're not running into a lot of IEDs and bombs. And so now he calls us mom and dad. And it's funny, he lives in Sacramento and hangs out with our Indian son as well. So, yeah, so I'm all about bonus kids.
Yes.
All about bonus kids. They bring a bunch of value.
Yes,
so,
they do.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more. I know you do a couple of other things. You mentioned the device you've got that they can either download an app and then buy the software that goes into the app on a monthly basis. And what does that do? So, okay, so they can also buy a device that looks very much like a phone, but has it all pre-installed, right?
Right, yes. And so this is a biofeedback frequency generator called the AO Scan mobile device from Solex Nation out in Utah.
Okay.
And this is an educational device. It does not diagnose, treat, or cure anything, but it helps to find out what's going on in your body energetically just by recording your voice and using transducer headphones or bone conducting headphones to find out what's going on in your body. And one of the best programs is called the Inner Voice. And what that does, it records 2,000 frequencies over 12 octaves. And if you are somebody who speaks a lot and can tell like your mood by the tone of your voice. So it takes everything from the tones and pitches of your voice and analyzes what is going on energetically in your body. And then through musical notes, it will see what frequency is out of balance and bring in the frequency note that brings it back to homeostasis.
Oh, wow.
And so it has all kinds of things, because your emotions will actually go to certain organs in your body, and it will find out.
That ties back to where your emotions were tied into your gallbladder. Yeah.
Gallbladder, yeah.
Gallbladder. Try saying that 3 times real fast.
Yeah.
So different people's emotions could manifest in different areas.
Exactly. And then you always have a negative emotion versus a positive emotion. So it helps identify what those emotions are. And then you listen to these balancing harmonics, which are binaural beats or radionic tones. And then they're just really soothing music. And then it has the frequencies underlaying it, where you would wear your headphones, and it will actually switch the emotion to a positive emotion. So you will end up having more of a uplifting, your vibration, your energy is going to switch, change, and then you just end up feeling so much better after you listen to those.
When did you start in this field, and what emotional healing practitioner, is that the right term?
Yes, or emotion code practitioner. So I'm a certified emotion code practitioner. I'm also certified in other modalities as well. And then, so it was about 2.5 years ago that I was introduced to an emotion code practitioner, and having felt the shift in my body and my energy shifting and becoming more positive. If you've ever been a person who's had trauma in your life or things that are passed down generationally, we hold on to those emotions and feelings, and that can really prevent us from showing up and being who God created us to be. And so I kept wanting to expand and do more and help more people, but I had so much fear and rejection emotions that I've had throughout my life that I was just carrying it on my back. And so, you'll get people who've, as soon as they get stressed or anxious, it all goes to the back of your neck. And so you'll see people just tensing like this. And so I was one of those people. I was just very tight. I was very closed off. I was very hunched over, because I'm like, people just scared the crap out of me. And so once I realized that I didn't have to carry that any longer, it serves you no purpose. It actually does the reverse for you. You might as well just go, curl up in a corner.
Right.
But who wants to do that? Life is to be lived, not to be, shut out from everybody. So I was an introvert person. I didn't want to talk to anybody. But as soon as I felt the positive emotions coming into play, learning how to love myself again, learning how to respect and value myself, then I thought, well, I can't keep quiet about this. I need to learn more about this, and I need to share this, especially now the way the planet is.
Right.
The energy is shifted so much that, I think we are at the point where we need this more than ever. And so I feel like it's my duty to be available to help people get out of that rut of feeling negative, feeling withdrawn, feeling unworthy, and bringing in that abundance of life, happiness, joy. And, it's like it all correlates.
How many sessions on average do you find that when you work with a person, they start to see results?
Sometimes it's within the first session. So I do 60 minutes. We kind of do an evaluation to see what it is that you want to focus on. Maybe you don't have childhood trauma. Maybe it's just you're in a new business and you want to attract the right clients. You want to attract the right, money coming into you. Well, what's blocking you from receiving those clients? So let's figure out the energy that's going on between you and those clients. Maybe it's that. So sometimes it's one session, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's more. It all depends on the individual and what kind of things are going on in their body. Yeah.
Cool. So what else do we need to know about you? Anything? Oh, you've got another hidden gem, I think.
Another hidden gem?
You talked about the factory. I talked about Colton's.
Oh, yes.
What else you got for me?
So living in Dixon, it's a cute little antique town, and they are really, it's just fun things to do in Dixon. But they also, I'm really into ice cream. I don't eat a lot of it, but I enjoy it.
Right.
But they have a cute little ice cream shop called Katie's.
With
And
a
they
K?
have,
With a
yeah,
K?
with a K, yeah. And it's really cute. And I really like that. And they got a little playground in the back for the kids to play around with. But Dixon in general, there's so much to do. There's, Montgomery Bell National Park that you can go and walk around, or State Park. And they have a lot of RV camping. They have a lake there. They have a hotel and little cabins that you can rent. And so that's a really fun place we like to go and go hiking at also.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. And then if you can send me the link and a little blurb on them that we can put in the show notes, that'll be great.
Sure.
Okay. Any last thoughts as we start to wrap up here on what people need to know, what else they need to know about what you do?
I just, I'm here to shine the light on the planet and raise everybody's energy so that we're in a more positive state, and that we can really bring the balance up, bring the harmony up, enjoy people, not be so sheltered and afraid. I just think that, shining the light on the world is what we need, and bringing up the vibration and bringing up everybody's energy level. And I'm just here to give information, to serve in any way I can. And I respect everybody's value. Not everybody is where I'm at, and I respect that.
Sure.
But ponder that for a moment. Just think about that, and think about the shifts that you want to make positive in your life.
Right. And a lot of people get to, they try everything Western medicine has to offer, and they're not getting any results. And then they finally look at Eastern medicine and some different things. I mean, I remember when you first started, as I was growing up, you just started hearing about acupuncture and acupressure and chiropractic and stuff. And back in the 60s, I was born in 67. So early 70s, my nan was a top 10 Tupperware dealer for Australia. And so she had a big team, but she was lifting a box out of her car and twisted wrong and hurt her back, and she was on also, Valium was the thing that they gave you for everything back in the day, right? She's like, oh, your kids are out of control. Give them half a Valium, It's like, that was the answer to everything. But it helped mask the problem, but it didn't help fix the problem. And she finally went to a chiropractor. And I remember my grandfather just going off. Like, those, because it has to change over time, right? And I remember the first time I did some acupressure, not acupuncture, but acupressure, and the huge difference it made to my migraines. Right? I have migraine issue, and a lot of mine would manifest in the lower back. So I would have the migraine, but then when I try and it'd all manifest in the lower back. And so they're like, hey, because I'm like, well, what are you doing putting them in my feet? Or what are you doing pressing my feet? And what are you doing? It's up here, it's not down there,
Right.
And learning those things. So I think it's a journey that if we're having challenges and nothing's worked, maybe it's time to try something new,
Right.
What do you got to lose? I mean, is it the cash? Is it the couple of $100 or whatever it is? Who knows? I didn't ask, but and it can change depending on things. But isn't that worth having some health back and having the ability to do the things you want to do? I think it is. Now, speaking of which, do you sell those devices that you talked about, the biofeedback?
I do presentations, and so I can connect everybody who's interested in how to get this in your hand, help support your family, because it's all about programming your profile in here. And once the profile's in here, like my picture is right here on the top.
Right. Yeah.
So all the frequencies that are being sent, they're going to the person that's here. And so I have a lot of my clients that I use during my sessions, where I'm sending them frequencies, helping support them.
Gotcha.
During those sessions.
And you set it up for different people in the family. You can do more than one profile.
Right. And then what's great about it too is you can imprint on objects. So you can imprint on a bracelet, on earrings, crystals are great. And then those frequencies stay on there for probably 30 days.
Okay.
And so you're getting support that way. And I'll just share kind of one testament that not only did with the AO scan is, so this girl, one of my upline was introduced to this, and the gal that introduced it to Hannah just imprinted frequencies for a cyst, and imprinted cystitis and health, strength, and recovery, and inner peace and things like that on her ring. And 3 days after she had the frequencies imprinted and she would wear her ring, the cyst disappeared.
Wow.
So there's things like that energy can shift and really help reverse things. It helped with my vertigo and other people's vertigo with that. So
I can imagine it helped with motion sickness and all sorts of different things.
Right. Yeah. Building, and it helps build your immune system. So like if you're out in public, you boost you have frequencies imprinted that are boosting your immune system, health, strength, and recovery, and things like that to help support you so that you are not, being affected by everybody else's energy. And it also will clear negative energy from those pieces of jewelry from yourself. You can put a picture of your home in the device and it will clear the negative energy from your home. And then you can shield it, which is bringing protection. And then what's also great is this is EMF protected. So with 5G coming in, this device is going to block all of that from you and the software if you download it on another device. But it only comes from Solex Nation. And if you're all interested, I would love to help support you in any way I can and get you the information. We do, since everybody here is in Nashville area, we do once a month have live presentations on more about information and the breakdown of the device and how it came to be.
Well, thanks, Julianne. We will put all your contact details in the show notes when we put out the audio version of the podcast on all the podcast platforms, and also on our YouTube channel, Facebook channel, and when we post it to LinkedIn as well. So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, you bet. Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to plug my journal. This is
okay.
a journal that I had written. If anybody is interested in journaling, it's all about, creating a positive outlook. If you don't know what to write about, it gives you kind of little prompts.
And this is available on Amazon?
It is available on Amazon. And the easiest way to get it is if you type in my name in the search bar, and then it will pop up my journal that way. And I'll put that in the...
Yeah, please put that for the show notes too. That'd be cool. I know a lot of people that do journal on a regular basis. So
yeah,
that'd be great. Hey, thanks again.
Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. You have a great day.
Thanks.